From Dolphins Soccer Park on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II women's soccer coverage live on the ECC network. In today's non-conference matchup, the College of Staten Island Dolphins take on the Felician University Golden Falcons. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona, and this is the McDonald's pregame show. McDonald's, of course, our great scoreboard sponsor here at the College of Staten Island, bringing you what will be a very brief pregame ahead of today's matchup between the Dolphins and the Golden Falcons. Nick, welcome to your first soccer broadcast of the 2023 season. You got a chance to host the Dolphin Pod with me late last week. That episode premiered on Sunday, and now you get your first chance to take in women's soccer action from the commentary booth.
Yeah, and we saw in that game against St. Michael, the one where we recorded the Dolphin Pod after, we saw a scoreless tie between the Dolphins and St. Michael College. But in the game on Sunday, Joe, the Dolphins really came out of blazing in the second half, scoring 4 goals in just 12 minutes to beat Bloomfield College by a final of 4-1. They go to 1-0-1 on the season. Now looking to make it 2-0-1 today with a win over Felician University, potentially.
Well, as you see on your screen, the Golden Falcons come in with a record of 0-2, a pair of 1-1 draws for Felician to open up their 2023 season. And as you mentioned, Nick, the Dolphins drew against St. Michael's last Thursday, won by a score of 4-1 in the game on Sunday against Bloomfield. And for the Dolphins, 4 goals in that game matches a season high in goals for them last year. So if you're the Dolphins and head coach Alex Mendolia, you have to be happy with that performance. The Dolphins did surrender a goal late, the lone blemish on the stat line for CSI in that game, but still CSI faced a team that was forced to play 11 players for the entire game, at times played with less than 11, and they took care of business.
Yeah, and overall in that game, Joe, we saw the Dolphins offense really sparked in that second half. Got 12 shots on goal in that game, 29 shots in total. They were really aggressive on the offensive front, and defensively, up until that one goal that they allowed, they were playing a great game overall. You've had to have liked what the Dolphins have done so far in these 2 games, just allowing that one goal, and they have been overall off to a strong start, looking to keep that momentum going into today's game.
And looking at the CSI shot totals across their first 2 games, the Dolphins have 38 shots through 2 contests. They've only surrendered 18 shots in their first 2 games. For reference, last year, the Dolphins were outshot 236-90. They only scored 10 goals last year. They already have 4. So very encouraging signs for the Dolphins early on in this season. This Golden Falcons team, also a team that they've had some success against in the past. If you go back to 2021, home opener, the Dolphins took on Felician University, their first game back following the break for the COVID-19 pandemic, and in that game, the Dolphins won a 2-1 thriller in overtime. I mentioned it before, last season, these 2 teams played to a scoreless draw. So the Dolphins do have experience against this Golden Falcons team. The Golden Falcons come in looking for their first win. The Dolphins look to make it 2 in a row.
And you talk about that game in 2021 against Felician. Emily Albano had the first goal of the game for CSI. Nadia Evola had the game-winning goal in extra time for CSI to give them that 2-1 win. They both would like to do some more damage here today, get the Dolphins some more goals. We saw Albano score against Bloomfield on Sunday, as well as D'Amico, Melgar, and Radovini. They have been overall really good offensively so far in these 2 games that we've seen, and have really been attacking on these fronts. If CSI can continue that today, it's going to be a really tough time for Felician. But as previous history has shown, Joe, this should be a very close game.
No question about it, Nick. And you mentioned Jackie D'Amico. She comes in with 4 points, a goal and a pair of assists. Radovini with a goal and an assist. Emily Albano with a goal. And you mentioned Adriana Melgar, another goal scorer for the Dolphins. But also captains on this Dolphins team, along with Albano and D'Amico. Nadia Evola has played really well and made an impact in these first couple of games. Megan Marr, another Dolphins captain, who's logged a lot of minutes on that CSI backline. And an early standout this year, Ariel Uwe has played really well for the Dolphins. She's gotten a lot of minutes early in the season. After joining the Dolphins at about the midway point of the 2022 season, she is impressed early on here in 2023. But starting lineups are about to be introduced. The national anthem is about to be played. So with that, we will step aside and take a break. Coming up next, the College of Staten Island takes on Felician University here on CSI Sportsnet.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Cobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back here on CSI Sportsnet. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Bavona on the call for CSI Dolphins women's soccer. The Dolphins look to make it a 2-0-1 start on the season as they take on the Felician University Golden Falcons. The Golden Falcons still in search of their first victory at 0-2. And Nick, starters were just introduced out on the pitch. You have the starting lineup for both teams.
For Felician University, we have in goalkeeper number 1, Alexis Lambertino. Number 3, Isabella Bertozzi. Number 4, Ariana Monet. Number 6, Kaylee Rappel. Number 8, Kate Braun. Number 9, Stephanie Turi. Number 12, Emily Tierney. Number 14, Carly Koziel. Number 19, Jalen Say. Number 22, Emmy Eskridge. And number 23, Bianca Ravenja. For CSI, we have in goalkeeper number 1, Sarah Villacres. Number 2, Jacqueline D'Amico. Number 4, Emily Albano. Number 8, Nadia Ivola. Number 10, Isabella Radovini. Number 11, Juliana Carrera. Number 12, Gabriela Castro. Number 14, Aina Kolka. Number 20, Ariel Uy. Number 24, Adriana Melgar. And rounding out the order for CSI, number 27, Megan Marr.
So the Dolphins did make some uniform number changes, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like Ina Kolka back to 14. Taryn Hilke now wearing 29. Those changes for the Dolphins made right ahead of the start of today's game. We'll have to keep an eye on that, as that contradicts my roster, but we will keep up. I was certain I saw Kolka wearing 17.
She was.
Which means our roster is correct.
We originally
had
14, and Kolka, that the first 2 games, had number 18, if I'm not mistaken, or 17.
Well, we have 17 crossed out on our roster right now. She's wearing 17. So I thought they had a change today. There is no change for Ina today. She is wearing 17. That is the number we have. Dolphins huddled to the left of midfield. Golden Falcons huddled to the right of midfield. Once again, sights brought to you by Huddle Focus, our camera mounted atop the press box. And we are working on fixing the frame situation. We have to make a call when we have a couple of days in between games. And unfortunately for us, we've had a lot of games early in the season in terms of getting someone up here to take a look at the camera. But we had a game day on Sunday, the holiday yesterday, another game day today. We're not getting anyone here on the weekend. And we only had Friday of last week, and not a lot of people around here on Fridays. Admittedly, I'm not one of them. I'm not around on Fridays, so unless we have a game, I'm working from the comfort of my home on Friday. But for the Dolphins, they've appeared very comfortable here at home this season, as they're unbeaten. Their first game ended in a draw. They've only allowed 1 goal. That goal was allowed late in the second half against Bloomfield on Sunday. Sarah Villacres in goal for the Dolphins here this afternoon after Brianna Dorr got the start in Game 1. Villacres got the start in Game 2, and we are underway from Dolphins Soccer Park.
And we talked about the Dolphins in that game against Bloomfield College. Really good offensively. Defense has been strong for them also on the season. There's been a lot of attacking moments for the opposing side for CSI, but they've able to hold off those opposing moments and have only allowed the 1 goal to start off. So we're going to keep that defensive front strong here today.
Well, that was a dangerous pass early in this game, as that barely got under the foot of D'Amico for the Dolphins, and the Golden Falcons will now look to reset. We've seen CSI apply a lot of pressure at this end of the pitch so far this year. Dolphins haven't given away any easy passes, even shy of the midfield marker. And there you see an example of that right there as Kolka intercepts. Give and go with D'Amico. Kolka looking to move into the penalty area, has it knocked away. And very early, the Dolphins will have the game's first corner kick as Braun sent that over the touchline.
And we talked about it in the pregame. The Dolphins have been very aggressive so far on this young season in these two games. Overall, right there, you saw Kolka making the defensive play to force now a corner for CSI here with an opportunity to get the game's first goal.
Corner kick, Staten Island played short. Redirected toward the corner taker, and Radavini couldn't get there. It is chased down by CSI. Carrara the first to it as Marr plays it back to Castro. Villacrest looking. Sends it up to Marr. Marr looking to play one toward the sideline. Not enough curve on that ball. Stayed straight up the field, but Radavini takes it away.
Early on, the Dolphins trying to force something and keep these passes going as they are backed up into their own territory.
Well, we have seen consecutive, very, very hot days here at Dolphin Soccer Park. CSI fortunate to be playing in their white kits. The opposition not so fortunate these last two games, as that ball was a bit too strong up the far side. Throw in for Felician.
And I was told that Sunday was hot, but today is even hotter, so it could be, we could see a couple of water breaks in this game. So overall, these players, condition-wise, will have to be very careful out there.
If you take a look at the two benches, Felician certainly has depth. There's no question about it. A lot of players on that Golden Falcon bench. The Dolphins have quite a few as well. Not as many as Felician, however. I mentioned it before on Sunday. Bloomfield arrived with just 11 players, and that certainly played to the advantage of CSI as they got some minutes where they were playing a shorthanded Bears squad. And Carrara couldn't keep it in play there. Throw in Felician. That was bodied away by Rappel. Tried to get it back, could not. Evola from Elgar, center of the pitch. Elgar moving forward, looking to play Carrara through, but a bit too strong on the through ball. Still a great attempt there. Just past the foot of Carrara.
And the Dolphins, another chance right there, just a little bit too much on that pass, which will lead to a goal kick for Felician. But overall, so far, the Dolphins have been very aggressive once again in this game. Now looking to try to get a goal here, but also looking to stop this Felician offense.
Felician will concede a throw. Castro toward D'Amico. She gets ahead on it. Waiting for it was Braun. Just got it past Carrara. And the Golden Falcons will send it out of their own end. Kolka sends it skyward, gets ahead on it. Marr under pressure. Took a shot there, but was able to play it to her backer, Castro. Fellow backer for the Dolphins. Villacrest looking. Albano. Near side, Castro. Castro toward D'Amico, bit off target. Evola. Looking to play Radavini ahead, but getting there with plenty of time was Lambertino, who quickly rolls it away.
It looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication right there with Radavini, as I don't think at first she was expecting the pass. But Dolphins are able to get it back right here.
Radavini with plenty of collegiate experience, but this is just her third game with the Dolphins. D'Amico for Radavini, and it's cleared away again.
And you talk about Radavini, she's been a very bright spot so far for CSI in these two games. Had a lot of opportunities in the first game against St. Michael, had a goal against Bloomfield, so she is certainly willing to score for the CSI offense.
Throw in coming up for Staten Island here. Marr. For Castro. Castro sends it right back to Marr. Albano. Up ahead for Evola. Kolka. Give and go with D'Amico. Kolka for Radavini. Radavini has some room. She shoots. And first shot on goal of the match belongs to the Dolphins, saved by Lambertino.
And early on, good start for CSI right there. A couple of quick passes leading to that shot on goal from Radavini. But a good stop by Lambertino right there, as now she awaits to try to kick this one away.
Here's a second look at that last shot. Keep in mind, our voices will lag a bit behind instant replay, as you do get a second look at that last shot attempt. Carrara pressured and gave it away as the Dolphins concede the throw. Throw taken by Monet, headed in the air by Castro, and the Golden Falcons will throw again.
CSI early on has not been pressured going into their own territory. So looking to keep that going early on in this first half.
Albano toward the far side. Radavini sent it off the body of Bertossi, but she couldn't keep it in play.
Also a nice defensive play right there from Bertossi, but goes out and leads to the Dolphin throw-in.
Dolphins will switch play toward the near side. Castro had Turi not far behind, got rid of it to Marr, and now Melgar. Back to Albano. Albano moving into the midfield. Good idea on the attempted ball to Radavini, but too strong. Golden Falcons will look to throw. That throw taken into the midfield. And they'll send it right back to their back line. Dolphins continue to pressure. Golden Falcons navigate the pressure well as they move up the far side. And that attempted pass was broken up. Ravenga toward the near side. That forced Monet to chase it back toward her own goal. And she will play it to her keeper.
Felician's got to be aware, cannot afford a turnover right here. CSI's been aggressive early on, and once again, forcing a lot of pass breakups.
Marr back to Villacres. Uwe, far side. Back to Albano. Dolphins being given a bit more space than they've given the Golden Falcons at their end of the pitch, as they work it into the midfield for Evola. Pressured closely, and Melgar goes down, and the whistle is blown. Foul against Felician. Free kick, Staten Island.
And sometimes when you give that free space, it allows your opponent to, go look down the field and see what you have in front of you. And CSI so far, we've seen a couple of opportunities for them to try to set up passes. Unfortunately for them, there's been a little bit too much on those passes that have led to throw-ins for Felician. But the Dolphins, you said it, have not given Felician any opportunity.
That long ball nearly turned into a chance for CSI off the free kick. Lambertino will send it away. Albano moves across the midfield stripe. And she wanted Radavini, couldn't connect on the pass, but Uwe intercepts it right back for CSI. Albano avoids a challenge by Caziol, now Radavini. Working against Bertozzi.
Nice footwork right there from Radavini.
Bertozzi goes down. Radavini for D'Amico. D'Amico sent it away. Uwe giving chase, gets there. Uwe had it knocked away, but keeps it in play along the touchline. D'Amico right back for Uwe. Cross toward goal and heavy traffic, and it is deflected in, but I believe a flag was up for offsides.
That's a heartbreaker right there from CSI. Great setup from Uwe right there on that look. The Dolphins, unfortunately, offside on the play, so the goal does not count for CSI. But once again, we've seen Uwe these first couple of games, Joe. She has been very good setting up her teammates. Almost had another assist right there.
That ball was sent into heavy traffic, and I'm not sure who made contact with it, a Dolphin or a Golden Falcon, but there were no less than 5 bodies in front. And the The flag went up for offsides. No goal, no score, as we play on just over 10 minutes into this first half.
Big sigh of relief for Felician right there for that offside, but Dolphins once again attacking right here.
I'm curious who deflected that. Given the reaction, it looked like it was a Golden Falcon. It's so tough to tell. There's a strong challenge by Rappel, taking it away from Albano. And Felician now looks to counter through the midfield.
They're looking for their first attack of this game. A bit on their heels so far as this game has gone on, but the flag goes up, and the Dolphins will have a free kick.
Well, that's certainly an offsides call you'd like to avoid if you're the Golden Falcons getting their first chance up the pitch. Free kick Staten Island. I thought it was already taken. As I looked down, I had some information being passed to me from the stats desk, but off the free kick, Felician has it back.
Hopefully good news if that's the case.
Golden Falcons work up the far side. That's sent toward goal, and Villacrest got a piece. Not sure if that was going to be wide of the frame or not. But nonetheless, Dolphins goalkeeper got a piece of it.
Tough angle from where we're situated at, but Villacrest nonetheless got a hand on that one, leading to this corner kick now for Felician as they look to strike on the board first.
We'll get another look at that shot attempt following this corner. It's played short. Melgar plays it right back to the Golden Falcons. Cross in front, header, and getting a piece was Tierney, but she didn't get enough of it. Or did she get any of it at all? She did not. It looked like Tierney may have gotten a piece, but instead, the Dolphins will throw, and that was a very good scoring chance for the Golden Falcons.
You have to believe if Tierney does get a piece on that one, she has a great opportunity right there to put the first goal of the game with that header, but did not get a piece, and the Dolphins get a throw-in because of it.
Break there for CSI. D'Amico for Uwe far side. Looked like she was a bit off balanced on that pass.
So Uwe running up, trying to set up a pass, but it was behind her.
That went out in front of Castro, too strong.
Early on, we've seen a couple of passes for CSI that have been a little bit too much. That have led to some throw-ins for Felician.
Castro was challenged, moving to the attacking third, and Felician will earn a throw-in.
Correction, Joe, that's CSI with the throw-in.
They certainly pointed in the direction of Felician, I can tell you that for sure. Now, we're in the press box here. We can't see the corners, specifically the left corner. The right corner, I have a bit of a better vantage point. You may have a better vantage point of the left corner. I'm closer to the wall on the left side. Kolka looking for the takeaway. And Castro is forced to spill it over the sideline. Well, that was my mistake. They did point the throw in the direction of CSI. I besmirched the good name of the linesman. That was my mistake.
Nice defensive play right there.
Good tackle by Kolka. And if she got that to Radavini, that was trouble.
Dolphins would have had the numbers right there. Big break for Felician on that defensive front. So now they look to set up something here.
A lot of these newcomers to this Dolphins squad have played big minutes. Kolka, one of them. As Melgar with some nice dribbling through the midfield moves into the attacking third. She plays Radavini through. Play on side. Shot on goal and in. As the Dolphins are on the board for the first time this afternoon. Isabella Radavini scores for the second time this season, and the Dolphins lead at 1-0.
Yeah, great opportunity right there for CSI going in as Radavini gets the goal, but was set up perfectly by Adriana Melgar, who had some great footwork on that one, setting up her teammate. And we spoke about it, Joe. Radavini, early on in her tenure for CSI, has been really good in these first two games. Now going into today, a goal against Bloomfield, now a goal here today to give CSI an early 1-0 lead.
I think we may have missed the end of the goal, Nick, so we do apologize for that on the replay. Looks like we lost the end of that play. But nonetheless, the Dolphins get on the board with the game's first goal, and they lead it 1-0 with just over 30 minutes on the clock.
And I believe right now we have a water break, Joe, so do have some time in between.
And with that, we will take a break. We'll be right back here on CSI Sportsnet Water Break with 30 minutes on the clock here in the first half.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You can vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
And we're back here on CSI Sportsnet. Dolphins now lead it 1-0 as we have our first water break of the match with exactly 30 minutes on the clock here in half number one. Isabella Radavini scores on the assist by Adriana Melgar. And the reason we lost the shot on goal in our replay is because we have a 3-second delay from our camera, the feed on top of the press box, being passed down into our system. So Tyler, our engineer, was so on top of getting the replay that we lost the last 3 seconds. So a job well done by Tyler. I did not fill him in on the 3-second input lag. That is my error as the Dolphins take the lead by a score of 1-0.
Well, Joe, what do we usually say when it comes to CSI? Never a dull moment.
No. On a day like today, I would not want to put someone through standing on top of the press box alone for an hour and a half plus. But with each passing game, I am missing our manned camera more and more.
Yeah, it would have been a brutal day if someone had to do the camera on top with the way this weather has been.
Golden Falcons looked to cross there, but the attempted cross by Ravenga was broken up.
That'll lead to a throw-in right here for Felician.
Dolphins take it away off the throw. Radavini avoids a challenge, finds D'Amico in the midfield. Good touch by D'Amico to avoid another marker. She's still going, and finally it is taken away by Braun.
D'Amico was looking for an opportunity right there, but now Felician has a chance right here, Joe.
Well, that's a great ball to set up this attacking play from the midfield, but Uwe gets back defensively to knock it away from Jalen Say. And Albano completes the play with that tackle, looking for Radavini. And the Golden Falcons knock it over the far side, so the Dolphins earn a throw and break up what looked to be a very promising attacking play.
Nice defensive play from Uwe right there. Looked like Felician had the numbers, but she was able to get back there just enough time to now set up a throw-in for CSI, so another good stop for the Dolphins right here.
Throw-in taken by the Dolphins in front of their own bench. Ravenga applying pressure as Marr gets it. She finds Castro moving up the far side into the midfield. Castro, with pressure coming from behind, is forced to send it away. Carrara wasn't looking, and Felician will throw. And that's headed away by Castro. That's bodied by Castro off the throw. And Felician takes it back in the midfield. They'll look to reset. Braun for Bertossi. Strong challenge by Radavini. It's taken away by the Dolphins. Chipped ahead by D'Amico. Radavini on the run, gets there. She beats her marker, chips one toward goal, and beats Lambertino for her second goal of this first half. Isabella Radavini, what a move, what a shot.
She put the Jets on that one, Joe, to get to that ball. What an unbelievable goal right there from Radavini. She has had a great start to her CSI tenure here. 2 goals here today to now give the Dolphins an early 2-0 lead. A huge goal right there from Isabella Radavini. Now 3 goals in her past 2 games on this season. And we spoke about it, Joe. She really got to that ball very, very quickly just to have an opportunity to set up that goal and a nice touch to get it over the goalkeeper.
Radavini scores for the second time. And that was a very high-effort play by Radavini to chase down what was a great ball from Jacqueline D'Amico as well. A lot to like on that last play for the Dolphins.
We spoke about it. There's been a lot to like so far the way the Dolphins are playing. They have another chance right here.
Radavini moving in. Beats her marker again. Radavini sends one toward goal just wide as she made a bid for a first-half hat trick.
Oh, man. She definitely wanted that one, Joe. That was very, very close to getting in for the hat trick. And also could have been an opportunity for the Dolphins right there on a pass attempt. Just went a little bit wide, leading to that goal kick for Felician. But, man, the Dolphins have certainly been aggressive in this first half. They have kept Felician on their toes.
Radavini has been a menace once again at the forward spot. And she's gotten a lot of help as great passing from her teammates set her up on more than one occasion. Looking to chase this one down is Turi. She does get to it in the corner. Chance to cross. And it looked like she misplayed it just a bit. Didn't connect cleanly. But a good defensive play there by Nicole Janal to knock that ball down. Unfortunately, it rolled over the touchline. And the Dolphins will have a goal kick.
Looked like it kind of went off the side of her foot right there. That led to it not getting much power on that pad on that corner attempt. So now leading to a goal kick for CSI right here.
Dolphins lead it 2-0 as we approach 20 minutes gone by in this first half. And if you're a fan of CSI women's soccer, you have to like what you've seen from this team so far in this game. They had a lot of chances early against Bloomfield, could not convert. And here today they've made the most of their early opportunities.
And that's all you can really ask for out of your team, to capitalize on those chances. And CSI has certainly done that in these past couple of games. Now with the early 2-0 lead and looking to attack for some more.
Albano looking for Radavini. That's a good ball. Radavini moving in toward the penalty area. Strong touch as she moves in toward goal. Plays it in front and getting a foot on it, but unable to finish. Inside was Carrara. A sliding attempt on that shot. She sent it off the post.
Great setup from Radavini right there. Just able to get the pass off. And Carrara, you said it, Joe, just off of the pole. Almost leading to that Dolphins' third goal right there. Big break for Felician.
Felician looks to move through the midfield here. That's knocked down by Kolka. The Dolphins may have a chance to counter. Melgar, center of the pitch, surveys. Thought about playing it to the near side. Instead, gives it up to Evela. Evela looking far sideline. Looks like the Dolphins, during that water break, subbed in Colleen Rodriguez as Evela fires toward goal. That's wide. And with that, we'll get a look at the last shot by CSI off the foot of Carrara, which then contacted the post.
Yeah, great setup right there from Radavini. Almost looked like it was going to go out of play, but she was able to just get the ball in front for her teammate Carrara. Unfortunately for CSI, just goes off the pole, as it looked like just at the end she just got a piece of it. Just needed a little bit more to the left to get that third goal of the game.
Dolphins have had firm control of this game since the opening kickoff. Felician's lone chance came off of a set piece. As they're under pressure in their own end once again, they play it into the midfield, but it's been an impressive start for this Dolphins squad. As Melgar takes it away. Melgar into the attacking third. D'Amico, offsides.
D'Amico offside on that one. But, Joe, how about the start for Melgar in this game with her footwork? She has been very impressive setting up her teammates for scoring opportunities early on, assisted on the first goal of the game, and almost had another chance right there. Unfortunately for CSI and offside.
And you'll see a lot of scoring chances develop on a pass from the midfield. And Melgar has been instrumental in getting attacking play started for the Dolphins in this match. So there's some good passing by the Golden Falcons. That's sent toward the center of the pitch by Turi. It was deflected. And that's high and wide off the foot of Nicole Janal. Goal kick, Staten Island.
And early on, it's got to be a little bit frustrating for Felician having to play the way that this game has gone, where they've been backed up into their territory most of this one, trying to set up some opportunities to get on the board. But the Dolphins have made it very, very frustrating overall with the way they've been playing defense so far.
Albano. Sent it into the midfield for Evola. Radovini looking to time her run. And that ball just a bit off target. A little too far to the inside on that through ball. Lambertino sends one toward midfield. Ravenga looking to play it ahead. And it's now a foot race toward the ball. Casio closing in for the Golden Falcons, working against Albano. Albano trying to find a lane to clear it. And instead, the Dolphins will concede a throw-in deep in the corner.
Good job by Albano right there. One-on-one defensively, making a good stop to force the throw-in. You said, Joe, realistically almost a corner kick, but just missing it by a couple of inches. So Felician will throw it in right here as they look to try to cut the deficit.
Golden Falcons throw, short. First to reach it was Rappel. That's crossed toward the dot. Nobody home for Felician. But overlapping is Janelle. She chips one in the air. Uwe got a foot on it. Albano clears.
Very good clear, setting up one of her teammates in Radovini.
And there's another good ball. This time it's D'Amico in a foot race. And it looks like Eskridge will get there first. She does. Lambertino sends it into the midfield. Radovini couldn't keep it. Rappel avoids a challenge and plays it up ahead near side for Turi. Turi looking to move toward the center of the pitch, working against Uwe. And that's sent on goal weakly, and Villacrest makes the save.
Looked like Turi was potentially looking to set up her teammate on that pass, but had no advantage right there, as she did have Carly Chiozzi with her in a 2-on-2 situation. Had no other choice but to send it on goal. And for Villacrest, a save.
That one pinballs off the head of two players. Felician will throw. That gets through a pair of players. And now the Dolphins will throw. Or will they? As that ball was rolling over the near side, Marr tossed Kaziel down.
Looked like the players were confused. They thought the ball went out.
I thought the ball went out.
I thought so too.
And Villacrest will pick it up. You don't see a play like that too often. Rodriguez back to Albano. Albano plays it over to Marr. Marr for Uwe, near side. Kolka across midfield. Finds D'Amico. That ball for Carrara on target, but Carrara is beaten to the spot by Braun.
Good setup from D'Amico right there, giving her teammate an opportunity. Carrara just could not get to it in time, but CSI does get a throw-in right here.
Uwe will throw, and I mentioned it last game. Definitely specializes in those long tosses. That one over the head of D'Amico and sent over the near side. So the Dolphins will throw again.
And it will be Uwe once again throwing it in for CSI.
Our ball runner Stephanie Smallridge getting a workout out there.
Especially with the weather today, it definitely is a workout.
She'll be very happy to return to the booth this weekend. Kolka for Evola. Albano. Pressured. Looking for somewhere to go with it. Wants Carrara. That was cut off by Janal. But she gives it away to Melgar. Melgar avoids a challenge. Gave it back to Carrara. And a bit of miscommunication there between Melgar and Carrara. And that's going to be a throw-in rather than a corner. So that actually works out in the Dolphins' favor. I'm not sure if you saw the way that ball traveled, Nick, but that was tucked just inside of the corner flag along the near side.
Some interesting rolls so far in this first half. As well, another throw-in right here.
Well, the workout continues for Stephanie. There's another souvenir for the spectators. And the Dolphins will throw. Uwe looking for that long throw-in again. Sends one into the box. D'Amico redirects, and Carrara was offsides. No question about that one.
And you can see what CSI was trying to set up as they were trying to get it to the other side of the field, potentially for Radavini to try to set her up for her third goal of the game. But as you said, Joe, no question about it. Definitely wasn't offside right there for CSI with just 17 minutes to go in this first half.
Free kick to be taken by Kate Braun with 16:50 on the clock in this first half. Over the head of Kolka and off the foot of Kaziol, chipped in the air. A lot of white jerseys in the area. And Kolka lost her footing. See if this sets up a chance for Felician. Turi working against Uwe again. Turi can't avoid the challenge. Kolka comes back and takes it away. Melgar for Albano. Albano, far side. Radavini. Closing in is Monet. That's sent up in the air. Rodriguez gives chase. Braun also there for Felician. And the Dolphins will throw. Throw in right on target for D'Amico. And she gets it away. Radavini toward goal. And that's wide of the frame. Goal kick Felician.
Good overall, good attempt from Rodriguez right there to set up D'Amico. And D'Amico had to send it back to Radavini for that shot. Just a little bit wide of the marker. Leading to the goal kick right there.
Here come the Golden Falcons out of their own end. Felician will hope to cut this lead in half before the break. Dolphins have had two great chances to add to their lead. As Rodriguez is all over that pass attempt. She plays it back to Villacres. That's sent up the pitch to the midfield. Radavini there working against Monet. And Monet takes it away, but was unable to find an open teammate. Melgar moves ahead, avoids one challenge, and plays it to Kolka. Kolka wanted Carrara, that ball off target.
Needed to get that one a little bit more outside.
Attempted give and go there by the Golden Falcons, but the go pass was off target. And with that, water break. And with the water break, once again, we step aside and take a break. Dolphins lead at 2-0, 14:32 to go in the.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
It takes to get used to it as the game goes on. Like once it keeps going on, it'll be like kind of like you get into a rhythm of it. Well, we are back from the commercial break. Joe Foreman in the other room checking the stats, just making sure there are no issues. 14:32 to go in this first half as we are still in the water break. So for now, we'll go to another commercial break and we'll be right back here from Dolphin Soccer Park.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards families, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experience as possible.
And we are back from Dolphins Soccer Park, where CSI leads Felician by a score of 2-0. 14 and a half minutes to go in this first half. Goal kick Staten Island coming up.
Much needed water break, not only for CSI, but for some of us.
What about our water break? We don't have the cooler up here. We have it in my office. That's not a good place for it right now. As that's sent over the near side. Isabella Castro into the game for CSI, her first action of the season. Trying to see if I can spot any other changes for CSI. I don't believe that we had any more. It's just one substitution on the Dolphins side.
You spoke about with the way the weather is, you can see a lot of subbing in and out for both of these teams.
The way the weather is, Nick, I'm going to need a substitute. We'll call it Foreman substituted with an issue of dehydration.
Reasoning for substitution.
D'Amico for Radavini. Good ball once again. Radavini moving in. She sends one toward goal. It's deflected up into the air, and officially it will go down as a save for Lambertino, as she was able to reel it in ahead of a second shot attempt on a rebound.
Lambertino had to get up there and get down with that one. Was able to tip it and then come down with it on the catch to avoid a second opportunity right there for CSI.
So the Dolphins did have a second substitution. Julia Nenska-Hopushovska checked in as well following that water break. Looks like Felician made a couple of changes as well. Lindsay Whaley in the game for the Golden Falcons. Julia Voss also in the game for the Golden Falcons. And I think that's all on the Felician side. That's sent over the far side. Throw in Felician. Dolphins with 4 shots on goal in this game. Golden Falcons with just 2. Each team with 1 corner kick. But the Dolphins have had at least one great chance. That did not officially go down as a shot on goal. That one off the post. Felician really hasn't had a great chance yet. Their best opportunity came on a shot that was never taken. An attempted header came up empty in front. That was by far the best chance in this game for the visitors.
And they really have been usually in the defensive zone so far in this first half. They've now really had many opportunities to put a goal or at least get a shot on goal. And that's a credit to this CSI defense so far in this first half. So some halftime adjustments will have to be made by Felician if they're going to have an opportunity to at least tie this game and have a potential chance to win it.
Well, I mentioned it a bit earlier. The Dolphins were playing very aggressively in the attacking end of the field. They were really going after whoever it was handling the ball for Felician. The Dolphins, at this end of the pitch, have been given a lot more room to operate. And if you're Felician, that probably will have to change as this game goes on if the deficit stays at 2 goals. They'll have to be a bit more aggressive at the other end of the pitch, trying to create takeaways and turnovers by this Dolphins attack. And Felician gives it away in the midfield here.
We spoke about it earlier. Giving a team that much space allows you an opportunity to look around the field and see where you could potentially set up a pass. And that's what CSI has been able to do so far in this first half, set up some passes for their teammates that have led to those 2 goals and almost a third one. So it would have to be a little bit more of a tighter defensive zone for Felicia in the second half as they look to try to keep this game 2-0 or even get at least a goal before the end of this first half.
In the midfield, Felician has been aggressive on the challenges, but you mentioned her before. Adriana Melgar has done a great job of dribbling to avoid those markers and has set up attacking plays that have generated scoring chances. And the Dolphins have turned those into a couple of goals. This is Melgar. She plays it up towards Nenska Hopushovska, looking to turn, and it was knocked away by Whaley. Voss looking to play Whaley through. Marr gives chase. She gets there first.
That will lead to a throw-in right here for Felician. Just a little bit under 10 minutes to go in this first half.
Throw in by the Golden Falcons, immediately met by bodies along the near side. Voss was forced to retreat and play it to her backer. Ball in the air. Felician makes first contact when it comes down. Now it's loose, and Melgar races to it. She has plenty of room in front of her. Melgar moving in, looks to cross, and it's broken up as D'Amico looked to put a shot on goal.
Melgar has really made a huge impact in this first half. Had a chance right there to set up or even get a goal right there. Try to set up her teammate on that pass attempt, but it was kicked out away, leading to now a corner coming up for the Dolphins.
Opportunity here for CSI on another set piece. This is their second corner of the game. They had a quality free kick earlier as well. That was taken from all the way at the other end of the pitch, but it still generated a quality chance. Rodriguez, left-footed corner, sent behind the frame. Goal kick coming up for Felician. That's sent out toward midfield. Headed up in the air by Whaley. Castro fighting her for it now. And Whaley went down as Nenska Hopushovska came over to challenge. Now Albano. Over to the far side. Rodriguez. Back to Albano. Albano up to Evola. Now Marr. Marr into the midfield. Has Carrara. Carrara looking for Nenska Hopushovska, and the flag goes up for offsides. Awfully close.
Just by a couple of inches right there, Joe. But you've had to have liked what CSI has done in the first half in terms of passing. They have had a lot of good, quick passing overall that have led to some of those opportunities. Fortunately for them right there, it led to an offside, but they are still trying to get the third goal of this game for them, try to increase their lead.
That one ends up on the back line of CSI, and now the Golden Falcons have it. That one sent into the penalty area and on goal, but the flag is up. Offsides is the call, and we'll get a look at that one on replay.
A huge break for CSI right there, as it looked like Felicia was about to get their first goal of this game. Unfortunately for Felician, an offside on the call, as Jalen Say just was offside on that one. That is a heartbreaker right there for Felician with just about 6 minutes to go in this first half.
Well, looking at the replay, that was undoubtedly the right call. It wasn't by much, but it was definitely the right call. Just over 6 minutes to play in this first half. Dolphins still lead at 2-0.
And we talk about momentum, Joe. When something like that happens, that can really kill a team's chances of momentum as this game goes along. They're going the rest of this first half going into the second half. So for Felician, they'll have to try to pick up and, make sure that they end this half strong. Just under 6 left.
Braun looked to send it across midfield. Melgar was there waiting. She's moving forward. Melgar across the midfield stripe. Up the sideline to Radavini. Radavini working against Monet, being pressured back toward midfield, and she gives it up to Rodriguez. Marr calling for it, receives the pass just beyond the midfield stripe. Evola will look to turn. Can't, but a strong effort gets her past Tierney. And on the through ball, Golden Falcons able to break it up. They look to counter. Voss had her pass broken up by Castro. Marr off the deflection, plays it back to Castro. Long ball up the pitch, and that's too long for Carrara and D'Amico.
Another chance right there for Felician. Just were not able to get something going there. Dolphins had a chance. As now we'll have to see if CSI can attack for their third goal, but it'll be a throw-in coming up for Felician.
Golden Falcons throw toward the midfield stripe where Voss was waiting. That one sent out across midfield. Marr got a foot on it first, and there was a chance there on the attack for Felician. Kaziol made the run. She was through, but the ball was broken up, and foul called in the midfield against D'Amico, or was drawn by D'Amico, I should say.
D'Amico was hit in the face.
She was certainly the one fouled.
Yeah, D'Amico was hit right there, so CSI will have a free kick coming up as we just now approach the 4-minute mark here in the first half.
Albano will take the free kick from just beyond the midfield stripe. She plays it forward to Evola. Evola chips one ahead. Two Dolphins closing in, but not before the keeper, Lambertino, gets there. Just over 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Dolphins got off to a red-hot start in this game, scored 2 goals in the first 20 minutes. I've had a couple of chances since, but the Golden Falcons, with the most recent scoring chance, were flagged for offsides, and that negated a goal. As it stands, the score remains 2-0 Staten Island. Dolphins hoping to maintain a lead of at least 2 goals heading into the half, and you spoke about momentum, Nick, and 1 goal away changes the entire complexion of the game. So if you're the Dolphins, you want to make sure that you keep the Golden Falcons off the scoreboard for these last 3 minutes.
And it's really going to take, overall, a good defensive front, which they've had most of this game, to try to keep that 2-goal advantage. But they would certainly like to make it 3 just before this half.
Melgar, back to Albano. Albano for Rodriguez. Back to Albano. Dolphins taking their time here. No need for them to rush this attacking play, as I'm sure they'd be content with a 2-goal lead at the break. Golden Falcons don't look very eager to pressure right now. Seems as if for much of this game, the Dolphins entering the midfield has triggered pressure by Felician defensively. And I think the Dolphins at times have been able to use that to their advantage. Melgar's skill dribbling in that midfield area through traffic has given the Dolphins opportunities to score. And if they can get the ball on her foot in that area of the field, they've been able to generate chances from it.
She's had a lot of free space to be able to dribble the ball around and find her teammates. And that's something Felician's going to have to fix in the second half. They're going to have to really try to close in and not give the Dolphins that free space that they've had here in this first half.
Well, that free kick off target. And the Dolphins will make a substitution here.
Looks like that's Carrara coming out.
Hilke coming in now. For Hilke, this is her 3rd jersey number of the season, Nick. She's worn 17, 14, and 29.
She's trying to keep the stats crew.
Lewis on his toes for sure.
They're definitely on their toes with this one.
I've been on my toes now for the first 4 games of the season. 1 minute to go, first half. See if the Dolphins look to generate one last attacking play. Here comes Melgar. She's been at the center of plenty of Dolphin chances in this first half. She wants Radavini. Radavini looking to work toward the center of the pitch. Sends one toward goal, easily saved by Lambertino. And that may be the final scoring chance of this first half.
How about Melgar, though, once again, giving an opportunity for CSI to set up Radavini for a goal. But a good job by Felician to force a kind of a weak shot for Radovini on that shot right there. As the Dolphins will try to make sure that Felician does not have another opportunity, which is about 10 seconds left.
10 seconds to go in the half, and the Dolphins will dribble out the closing seconds. 2-0 our score at the break. We will have a shorter halftime intermission, only 10 minutes going up on the clock. And when that clock hits 0, we come back here on CSI Sportsnet. Dolphins lead the Golden Falcons 2-0 at the break.
I feel like as a player, I've grown so much with this group and with my coaches, and my game has just elevated a lot more than it would have anywhere else, to be honest. So I'm just so grateful to be able to play with this team. And just being able to play in Division I soccer week in, week out, it's just getting the best of both worlds, having the opportunity to get a degree. You really have to appreciate what you have. And there's so many kids around the world that don't get these opportunities, so you have to take advantage of it for sure.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag. I could sit in the book bag, like facing backwards and look like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back. And my dad was like, we have a prodigy. So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. I loved the team. They brought me in like I was one of their own. The professors help out so much. They actually care about developing me, not only so I just memorize the material and able to take a test, but am I able to apply the information. I don't feel nervous asking them, hey, I'm not going to be in class, can you send me something? And they're completely fine with it and they understand, which is the best part. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do. Be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I'm able to go out and become president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. SAC is consistent of like a ton of different backgrounds, and we'll come up with cool ideas for like fundraisings and having the opportunity to raise money for Make-A-Wish and knowing it's going towards a good cause. Not only motivates me, but it motivates the whole community. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
Dear soccer, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be in this position today.
Thank you for being something that is more than just my sport.
Soccer really is the beautiful game, and it will take you more places and give you more experiences than you could have ever dreamed of.
The people that I owe the most to are my teammates.
They have been my crutch to lean on, shoulder to cry on, my hype woman in times of doubt, and my best friends day in and day out.
You get to wake up every day and play the sport you love at one of the highest levels at a prestigious university surrounded by your best friends. There is simply no better feeling.
You have given me my best friends, my most trusted mentors, and the most essential experiences of my young life. You are my community. With you, there is no race, no gender, no rich, and no poor. There is just a ball, 2 goals, and a common language.
Thank you for teaching me how to be a strong and courageous woman on and off the field.
Thank you for giving me hope for the future.
On the soccer field, I found a home. That is where I have always belonged.
I've learned a lot of things. I think one of the biggest things is how to cope with people, because I think that at the University of Virginia, and just as you keep moving on in life, you're going to keep meeting many more people. And I think all of the connections that I've made just at the University of Virginia they've become a big part of me. I think even the guys on the team, I consider some of them my family. I mean, I wake up in the morning at 6 in the morning, I'm spending time with them all the way up till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And I think that's one of the bigger things that I've learned is the relationships that I build with people, whether it be on the soccer field and off the soccer field, because even classmates at University of Virginia are some people I consider some of my best friends. And I definitely think connections with people and the bonds that you build with people that I know are going to carry on with me through my entire life, it's definitely some of the bigger lessons I've learned.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
I can't describe how much I learned as a player, but also as a human being, because you have to overcome challenges that you don't face in other areas. As part of the NCAA and obviously the college system itself, being a student athlete, there's so many challenges that not everybody else can relate to, and you have to try to excel in both areas. And now eventually you'll become a leader. Like in my case, I kind of had to step up into that role. And I feel like I've embraced that challenge, and now I love the spot where I am right now. I love how I've matured, become a leader, become the captain of the team, and hopefully I can help the rest of the guys win the Natty.
I was the kid who would do surgery on my teddy bear and have my sister be my patient, and I would wear the stethoscope and the lab coat. I was that kid. Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Dr. News, who is the head of the biology department, definitely has had a huge impact over the past 2 years I've been in the lab. He took a chance on me and actually gives me the power to actually do things. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. I've had so many experiences with underprivileged people, and just seeing that they want the basic things that people get out of life. And if I can help in any way, that just kind of warms my heart. That's why I want to be a doctor, to serve those who have been dealt a bad hand. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. It was just because I bought into myself, because someone bought into me. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
Dear soccer, there are no words to describe my love, admiration, and appreciation for you. From the moment I was brought onto this earth, you were all I knew. You have been with me and have seen me from a young little boy in Brazil to a well-rounded man in America. From all the days and nights kicking the ball at walls, breaking everything at home and making my mom upset, sleeping with a ball under my arms, making fun of my dad for beating him by 1 goal, never imagined that he will let me in just to see me smile. You were there for me. You were there with me. When we are together, nothing else matters. It's me and you. It's like the whole world disappears. Everything goes away, and we just enjoy it. I have always given you my all, my very best. Soccer, you have brought me to a place outside of my comfort zone, gave me an opportunity to live out my dream, and introduced me to my mentors, my role models, and most importantly, my family. You have been my teacher, my biggest fan, my biggest critic, and my best friend. With you, I was able to accomplish milestones that I'll always be proud, experience moments that I'll never forget, make memories that I'll forever remember, and live the life that I always dream about. So thank you. Thank you for turning the little boy who used to break things into the house to the man that I am today. There are no words to describe my love, admiration, and appreciation for you, but there are words to describe the feelings that I have right now, playing in the Final Four, with the greatest team, the greatest coaching staff, with the greatest university, and with the greatest fans. Nothing will ever compare or measure up to this moment. We're not done. I hope to still have you with me for a long time and live many more great memories together. Thank you, soccer.
And we are back from Dolphins Soccer Park. Start of the second half between the Dolphins and the Golden Falcons. CSI will now attack right to left in half number 2. This is Radavini near side, playing it back to Rodriguez. For the Dolphins, try and get you their second half starters. Once we have a break in the action, I can probably eyeball CSI. Moving up the near side here is Ann Noonan. Noonan looked to cross it in front, sends it off Albano, and earns a corner for Felician.
And Felician early on in the second half is going to need to be aggressive if they're going to be able to come back into this game. So a lot of, in that first half, they were really in the defensive zone a lot due to the Dolphins attacking offense. So we'll have to see if Felician has a strong start to this second half. A corner right here coming up.
Corner kick sent along the touchline, played right back to the corner kick taker. That was Noonan. She sends one off Melgar, and that is sent back toward the near side. Now, did they get the Dolphins for handball? For a second, I thought they may have called handball against the Dolphins. Instead, I think they got CSI for a foul, perhaps, though. May have, in fact, been a handball. We'll see. I didn't hear a whistle.
I didn't either.
I'm guessing it was a handball.
It had to have been a handball because I didn't see a foul either.
The ball was sent off of Melgar, and immediately play was stopped. So free kick for the Golden Falcons. Big set piece coming up right here.
Philly Urias is going to be the one that kicks it here on the free kick. She looks to set up one of her teammates for Felician's first goal.
Urias toward the far post. Ball rolling around in heavy traffic. Dolphins hoping to clear, and they do come away with it. Not a bad attempt on the free kick. There were a lot of black jerseys in the area as the Dolphins will concede a throw-in. But this throw will be taken from beyond midfield. These last couple of minutes, probably the best 2.5-minute stretch Felician has had all game. They've come out of the halftime break strong.
We spoke about it. They really needed to make some of those adjustments at the half in order to get back into this game. So far, they've been off to a strong start throughout the first couple of minutes. That one sails over the head of all the Felician attackers. And Villacris now will kick it away, or throw it away on this one.
Quick throw by the Dolphins goalkeeper. Here comes Rodriguez. Up ahead, Radavini got a foot on it and will now beat her marker up the sideline. Can she beat a second? Radavini sprinting after the ball down in the corner. Will send one into the box. Carrara there, got a piece of it, but no shot. D'Amico interrupts the clearance. Radavini avoids a challenge, gives it back to D'Amico. D'Amico looks to get into one, sends it toward Uwe, who just missed getting ahead on it, and it is handled by Lambertino.
Well, Joe, either way, it would have been offside on the Dolphins. The flag did go up. So if it did go in, it would not have counted for CSI. But a great opportunity right there for the Dolphins.
Janelle sends it up the pitch along the far side as the Golden Falcons look to work through the midfield. Pressure by Kolka, who takes it away. Strong touch down toward the corner, a bit too strong, as that allowed Eskridge to get there. And she sends it over the far side. She's down to a knee. Play has not yet been stopped.
See if they stop the clock here as Eskridge is still down.
Referee has not thrown up that X yet. So the Dolphins will throw here from inside the attacking third. Inside of 41 minutes to play here in the second half. Throw headed by Carrara onto the foot of Uwe. She gets it away. And the Golden Falcons are able to clear.
Looks like she was trying to set up D'Amico out in front for a goal chance.
Battle for it along the far side, energizing the Felician bench. Marr believed it should have been a CSI throw. Instead, the throw granted to the Golden Falcons. Their bench has come alive early in the second half. They're making a lot of noise down there. Off the throw, chance here. Ball chipped in the air, and it got away from Voss, who was first to it off the throw. Villacres will pick it up and see what she looks to do with it. This is as busy as the Dolphins goalkeeper has been all game. That's punted out toward midfield, body down to the turf. Voss got a piece, but Melgar takes it. Melgar working toward the far side. Castro right back to Melgar. Melgar avoids a challenge once again, working her way through the midfield. But Carrara couldn't get it back to her. As that pass was broken up, D'Amico has it now. And D'Amico lost her footing over the ball.
That'll lead to a throw-in coming up for Felician.
That throw ended up right between a pair of Dolphins. Instead, the Golden Falcons have it. Voss plays it back to Chiarello. This is Braun. Braun into the center of the pitch. Kolka there waiting. Rappel plays it toward the far side. That pass broken up by the Dolphins. Kolka looks to turn and attack. She's tossed down to the turf. Advantage Dolphins here. Uwe up the far side. Uwe wants D'Amico. That's a good defensive play to see that pass coming by Braun as she was marking Carrara in the center of the pitch. Noonan fighting against Rodriguez. They got tangled up, and a foul was called. So Felician earns the free kick, and we'll see if they can make something of this set piece.
They could really afford a goal right here, Joe. Try to get them some momentum as this second half goes on with just under 38 minutes to go. And them still trailing 2-0. So they're looking for a great chance right here.
Two Golden Falcons overlap over the balls. That's sent on goal and saved by Villacrest. Not a bad attempt, but without the traffic in front of her, it's going to be tough to get that past any goalkeeper. That's punted into the midfield. And once again, the Golden Falcons have it, but Whaley took a shot to the shin, and she's shaken up as she goes down to the pitch. Let's see if they stop play once the Dolphins get possession, and they'll stop it now. And it looks like Whaley's going to head off. She knew right away she had to come off. Dropped ball is punted back toward the Felician goal, as they did have possession when play was stopped. Didn't catch if a substitution came on.
One did. I was trying to see which number that was.
And Radavini is offsides. I'm trying to figure that out as well. Hopefully they got it next door.
I did hear the radio from
Okay,
next
good.
door, so they definitely did get it. I just did not hear the number.
Golden Falcons have it with just under 36 minutes to go here in the second half. They are awarded the free kick following the offsides and will look to move through the midfield. Dolphins dominated possession in the first half. Haven't had as much time with the ball here in half number 2. That one gets through D'Amico. Carrara almost able to redirect for Kolka there. That's taken away by Voss. And here come the Golden Falcons again. Say, met by Castro. And now Say looks a bit shaken up. Grabbing at her ankle as play continues. And looks like another injury here for Felician. Say is still down. Play continuing at the other end of the pitch. This is Uwe. Uwe in front. D'Amico. Plenty of room to shoot, and that is saved by Lambertino.
And that will now officially lead to the stoppage in play right there.
Dolphins will be awarded a corner, but the concern right now will be for Jalen Say, who is down at the other end of the pitch. Immediately grabbed at her ankle after she was taken down. And we will get a look at the last shot as they attend to the fallen Golden Falcon down on the field.
And we saw on that play from Uwe, she faked the defender to thinking that she was going to take a shot, instead setting up her teammate right there for an opportunity to score. But Lambertino making a big-time stop, getting a hand on that one. It will lead to a Dolphin corner kick coming up. Asay is still down. And we spoke about it, Joe, the way the weather is today, you're hoping that it's maybe just a leg cramp or something, but she was visibly in pain. So it looks like we'll have to have another substitution coming up for Felician.
It looked like she grabbed at the ankle, and they're going to help her off the pitch. See if she can walk off under her own power. Still favoring that left leg, and looks like she's going to need some help getting off. So we're going to have a substitution coming on for Felician, as you mentioned, Nick. And when play resumes, we're going to have a Dolphins corner as well. They may take this opportunity for a water break here, as it looks like the players are heading off the pitch. So with that, let's step aside for a quick break. Dolphins still lead it 2-0 just over 10 minutes into the second half.
I was the kid who would do surgery on my teddy bear and like have my sister be my patient, and I would wear the stethoscope and the lab coat. I was that kid. Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Dr. News, who is the head of the biology department, definitely has had a huge impact over the past 2 years I've been in the lab. He took a chance on me and actually gives me the power to actually do things. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. I've had so many experiences with underprivileged people and just seeing that they want the basic things that people get out of life. And if I can help in any way, that just kind of warms my heart. That's why I want to be a doctor, to serve those who have been dealt a bad hand. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. It was just because I bought into myself, because someone bought into me. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
And we are back from Dolphin Soccer Park, where the College of Staten Island leads Felician University by a score of 2-0. Corner kick Staten Island coming up as that travels into the center of the box, loose in traffic and cleared by Felician.
Coco just got a little bit of a piece on that one, but was not able to get much.
There's a good play by Marr to make sure that the attacker, Jillian Lebletta, could not make a move through the midfield. There wasn't much help behind her. Albano breaks up that pass. Avoids a challenge and plays it back to Castro. Castro for Villacrest. Villacrest far side, Castro. Now Marr. And you can see it, Nick, as opposed to the first half where they were a bit more lax at this end of the field with their defensive pressure. The Golden Falcons playing things a bit more closely here in the second half. And I think it's worked out for them as they've generated more chances early in the second half than we saw late in the first half. Foot race now after this ball. Uwe and Janal going after it. And the Dolphins will throw. Uwe throws quickly. Carrara. Back to Castro. Castro looked to send it into the box. It was broken up. Uwe again toward the center of the pitch. And Carrara got a piece and takes it back. She sends one into the box. It's cleared again. Dolphins not making things easy on the Golden Falcons here as they continue to send the ball in toward the penalty area. Now Radavini could not avoid the challenge, but she earns CSI another corner.
Dolphins trying to get back to where they were in the first half in terms of aggressiveness. As we've seen Felician here in the second half, they have been very aggressive trying to get back into this game. But unfortunately have not been able to put many shots on goal. The Dolphins have been good defensively still here in the second half, and now they'll come up here with a corner.
Radavini has that one snagged out of the air by Lambertino, and she had a pair of attackers in position for a header or a rebound shot if Lambertino didn't handle it cleanly. Lambertino sends one across midfield. Rodriguez got a piece of it, but the Golden Falcons take it back. Urias battling through heavy traffic as Albano goes down. And a foul was whistled against Felician there. Their bench didn't like it.
That's for sure, but CSI will take the opportunity right here with that free kick. As Albano now will try to set something up here for the Dolphins.
Just under 31 and a half minutes to play here in the second half. Free kick Staten Island. That's a good one. but it's headed away on the back line of Felician by Braun. Dolphins still after this ball, and D'Amico is flagged for offsides.
Good up chance, though, by Kolka right there. He was able to get a head on it and then keep it in front to get the Dolphins a chance. But D'Amico was offside, which will lead to a free kick coming up for Felician.
Braun will take the free kick. Deep in her own end. That's bodied by Castro at the midfield stripe. Uwe fighting for it. And that earns CSI a throw from right in front of their own bench. Carrara. Pressured along the sideline. Now Uwe over toward D'Amico. D'Amico fighting for position. And a good job there to keep it away by Rappel. But they can't keep it away from Radavini. Radavini looking.
Once again, Kolka was the one that was kept it in front for the Dolphins, keeping them on this attacking front right here.
She has played big minutes and played quality minutes for the Dolphins early in this season as well. Doesn't have point total to show for it, but she has made an impact when she's been out there on the field. Albano forced to retreat a bit. Sends it into the midfield, but it was intercepted. And now Rappel, being challenged by Castro, gets away and finds Braun.
Castro was not making that one easy right there. Trying to force a turnover.
Chance brewing here for Felician. Noonan sends one in front, and Villacrest handles it cleanly. There was no margin for error for Villacrest on that play.
Yeah, Villacrest just had to get there in time just to snag it down. Otherwise, Felicia would have had a great chance right there to get their first goal. Instead, the Dolphins now will kick it away or potentially throw it away from Villacrest right here. She looks to set up something.
Here you get a second look at it. Big opportunity there for Felician. And they needed to connect on that ball to get on the board, trailing by a pair of goals inside of 30 minutes to play as we have a whistle and a foul against the Golden Falcons here.
I was going to say, Joe, was that more of a, a Durstism? Would have been a golden opportunity for the Golden Falcons?
I think that's a fair assessment. Nick's going to have to trademark Durstism, otherwise we'll do it first.
Put the nice TM right next to it.
That never looks good in our graphics package.
No.
We have to get a lower third that says Durstism with his face. We'll find the worst picture possible.
We'll make a graphic for it, too.
We'll have a lower third, and it will slide up onto the screen whenever he says something. I think chestnuts roasting over an open fire certainly qualifies.
That's definitely up there.
Let those who understand.
Certainly an infamous call from last season's basketball year, and we'll definitely hear a lot more this upcoming season.
You can check out Nick's Food and Stuff on Instagram, and Nick likes to post his favorite calls, so you can check some of those out from last year. A lot of pop culture references that go over my head. Others that don't.
There were a couple that we had to explain to you. As a free kick is coming
one that
up
I
for
was
Felician.
ashamed you needed to explain to me. I now own it on a T-shirt, ironically.
You do.
Big night last night for Mr. Gable.
Yep.
For our WWE fans watching, unfortunately, Chad couldn't come up with the win, but looked like $1 million in defeat for what it's worth.
He definitely did.
Unfortunately, it's not worth much.
You might have to shush you after that comment.
That ball rolling down into the corner off the Felician free kick. Cross into the box, headed away by Kolka. Melgar for Uwe. A lot of room in front of Uwe and Carrara here. Uwe from Carrara making a run up the far side. Melgar making a run down the center of the pitch now. She wants the ball instead. Uwe looked to get it to Radavini, and the pass was broken up as the Dolphins earn another corner kick.
Well, if there's anyone you want to set up right now, Joe, to get you another goal on the board, certainly Radavini with already 2 in this game, 3 in her last 2, and looking for that illustrious hat trick.
Radavini has been huge for the Dolphins early in the season. The shot total is there. Had 14 shots through the first 2 games and a goal. An assist as well, has scored twice in this game. And she has been very impressive since joining this Dolphins squad ahead of this season. A huge addition for the CSI team.
I have a question to ask about that, Joe, once we get it after this corner kick coming up for the Dolphins.
Looks like Rodriguez is set to take it again. Corner on its way toward the near post. Heavy traffic! And it looks like somebody made contact, but a foul was whistled on CSI in the penalty area.
Miko had a great opportunity right there on the header. It looks like the foul is going against, I believe is that Radavini that they called that against?
It's always tough to tell from up here, but given her reaction, I think
Radavini.
that's a safe bet, Nick.
Now, the question I was going to propose to you is, if she were to get the hat trick, is it kind of like hockey where we have to throw our hats onto the field?
Can you throw a headband? I'm not wearing a hat, Nick.
I mean,
I'm not giving up the headband either.
Your headband could probably make it further than my hat, knowing my luck.
Well, the hat's going to be soaked, so it's going to be weighed down.
Yeah, no one wants this
It
hat.
might reach. Kolka goes down in the midfield, doesn't get a whistle, and Radavini couldn't keep it in.
And there's the whistle.
So advantage was played for the Dolphins. Or not. Just for a throw. There were 2 balls on the field. And they couldn't give the ball back to Stephanie. They threw it into the opposite corner.
It's been a rough day for Steph right there.
She's been busy. She's doing a great job as always. She'll be in the improved comfort of the booth. Though, to say it's comfortable up here is not accurate.
No.
Lewis needs a new T-shirt. Andrew needs to rehydrate.
And new sunglasses.
I need 2 new shirts. I think you and Tyler are okay, Nick. Tyler was smart. He showed up in basketball shorts.
Yeah. I wish I did the same.
I don't know if I own more than a pair or 2 of basketball shorts. I do have CSI Dolphins short shorts customized with my name.
Well, we're going to have to keep them on standby because...
They'll be here next game. There's no question.
Well, keep in mind, we're going to have to use it also for the faculty staff basketball game in the next couple months.
The not-too-distant future. We need to get to basketball season first, as there's 2 balls on the field again.
Also got to make sure you don't have any AirPods in when you're playing.
One might say it's a fashion statement. As that ball was touched by the Golden Falcons with a player standing out of bounds.
Seems as if there's been a lot of confusion these last couple of minutes.
Now, is it proper in soccer to call the area outside of the field of play out of bounds? I think technically out of bounds applies to any sport with boundary lines. Though I don't think I've ever heard anyone else say it.
I couldn't tell you.
Aaron might be able to.
Aaron probably would, yeah.
Uwe had that ball knocked over the far side.
That one ricocheted right off of Franco right there. Going out of play and leading to this throw-in.
We are approaching the midway point of the second half. Just under 23 minutes to go in this match. And the contact on that ball may have prevented a goal-scoring chance for Felician, but they do get it back. It's chipped in the air. Rodriguez trying to play it over her shoulder, clears it, and the Golden Falcons will throw.
That's a good clear right there by Rodriguez. Does it look like Felician had numbers right there?
More often than not, if you're caught in between, the right place to clear it. And with Rodriguez moving toward that ball, looking over her shoulder, she played it safe there and cleared it out of danger.
You got to keep in mind, too, with 22 minutes left, Felician's going to be very aggressive on the offensive side, trying to at least tie this game. So the Dolphins might play a little bit more back here and try to assure that nothing happens.
And I said it when we came out of halftime, the Dolphins weren't getting as many chances as they did in the first half, but that may have been a bit by design as they've been a little more conservative defensively. They pressured quite a bit early in this match. As Felician will look to cross here, that's sent toward goal, and Villacrest has it. There have been occasions where the Golden Falcons have had some space moving in toward the corner, moving in toward the penalty area along the sidelines, and the balls they've sent in front just haven't been dangerous. We've seen a couple of good corner kicks, but with the attacking play in progress and a player moving up the sidelines, they really haven't been able to put the ball into a dangerous spot on their attempted crosses, and that's hurt them in this game.
And they had that one opportunity in the first half where they got the header in, but unfortunately they were offsides on that play. And ever since that's happened, Joe, it seems as if they have really tried their best to do something here to try to get a goal, but you mentioned it. They haven't really had the best of looks and chances in the second half. Have had their opportunities, they just have not been able to capitalize on them.
Golden Falcons have 21 minutes to try and get a bit closer in this game, perhaps steal a point with a draw, or if they can really turn it up, take the lead. But the two games these two teams have played against one another in the past have not been very high scoring, 2-1 and 0-0. The 0-0 matchup, the most recent meeting. And based upon the scores in CSI's first 3 games, I think it's apparent as Evola takes it away. May have a scoring chance here. Evola moving in, but a bit too strong on the touch, and she takes a spill down to the turf as she had to try and avoid the goalkeeper, Lambertino. And another player is down for Felician. Didn't see what happened on this particular play, but we may have another stoppage coming up. And as I was saying, Nick, taking a look solely at the scores, I think it's clear that the Dolphins have taken a big step forward early this season, but taking in the first 3 games from up here in the booth, I think it's abundantly clear that's the case. They've played far better in the first 3 games of this season than they did in the first 3 games of last season.
And that's what you'd like to see, a nice changeover from last year into this year. Always good for a team like that, especially when you're able to add some new pieces to your roster. And we've seen it today. Radovini's been huge for them in this game. Has been huge for them already throughout the first 3 games, as well as Kolka. She has also been really good for CSI throughout these first couple of games.
And you mentioned a couple of the newcomers for the Dolphins. When you add newcomers that have such a big impact on the game, it makes the game that much easier for the returning players. And we've seen them benefit as well. So that was redirected in the penalty area by Albano.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a free kick.
Now, did they call a handball in the penalty area? If so, Felician's going to be awarded a penalty kick. And I think they called a handball in the box.
I think they did.
See if we catch it here on the replay.
Well, now, Joe, they certainly have a golden opportunity right here.
They did call a handball in the penalty area. So we'll get a look at it after the penalty kick, though I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to see on the replay. This is a huge spot now for Carly Caziol.
High-pressure situation for both of these teams right now. A goal would make it a 1-goal deficit.
Caziol, penalty kick, up over the crossbar. Villacrest stayed home at the center of goal, but Caziol sent it above the frame, and with that, we'll get a second look at the handball that led to that penalty kick. See if we can spot anything.
That's a killer right there for Felician. Once again, late into the half, we saw in the first half they had an opportunity to goal offside. Now this time an opportunity to goal, and it sails over, leading to a goal kick coming up for the Dolphins. So another momentum killer for Felician, as the Dolphins will have a substitution, as it looks like Juliana Carrara is coming out.
We didn't see anything on that replay, though I don't believe the replay captured the handball. May have been a bit early on the clip, perhaps, but I didn't think so, so I'm not sure exactly what happened. We only operated with the camera feed via the internet for the last 3 games of the 2022 season, as the Dolphins are whistled for a foul, and they'll concede a free kick from a dangerous spot. So Felician, unable to score on the PK, will now get a free kick from, it looks like, dead center in a dangerous spot right on the edge of the attacking third. Perhaps a bit closer than that, but nonetheless, a big opportunity here now for the Golden Falcons. And we'll see who's going to take it. They had a couple of players run over the ball ahead of the last free kick, trying to divert CSI's attention. It looks like they may try it again here. Urias will take it, gets it around the wall, but that's not on target. And it will be a goal kick for CSI.
And once again, Joe, another kick in which not a lot of power into it, and it goes wide left from our vantage point, leading to another goal kick coming up for CSI. Now 16 minutes to go in the second half.
When you have a penalty kick, obviously that's an attempt you have to put on goal. But that free kick wasn't necessarily that close either. Two big opportunities go by the wayside for Felician. And despite that, they've played a better second half than they did first half, and certainly could be one goal closer. As that's a tough break there for Janelle. She took that one off the face as that's redirected in front, and it takes a good Dolphins bounce as Philocrest was taken down. That was certainly unintentional.
Philocrest, though, looks like she is okay after the bump. And a good job by her to recognize where the ball was. Just one tip of that right there would have led to the first Felician goal.
Ocasio got a brief talking to from the official, but he knew that wasn't intentional. I don't think it was reckless either. Radovini heads it toward Evola. It's chipped in the air. D'Amico making a run. Monet with her. D'Amico trying to win it. And Monet able to redirect toward her keeper, Lambertino, scoops it up.
Good job by Monet right there. Defensively, keeping D'Amico away from that one. Now allowing the Dolphins to extend their lead.
Final 15 minutes from Dolphins Soccer Park. CSI maintains a 2-goal lead as D'Amico got that away. Advantage Dolphins. That's sent toward the penalty area, but a bit too wide for Evola. And we're going to have a water break. Clock stopped at 14:09. We'll be right back here on CSI Sportsnet.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag. I could sit in the book bag like facing backwards and look like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back. And my dad's like, we have a prodigy. So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. I loved the team. They brought me in like I was one of their own. The professors help out so much. They actually care about developing me, not only so I just memorize the material and able to take a test, but am I able to apply the information. I don't feel nervous asking them, hey, I'm not going to be in class. Can you send me something? And they're completely fine with it and they understand, which is the best part. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do. Be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I'm able to go out and become president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. SAC is consistent of like a ton of different backgrounds, and we'll come up with cool ideas for like fundraisings and having the opportunity to raise money for Make-A-Wish and knowing it's going towards a good cause. Not only motivates me, but it motivates the whole community. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
We are back here on CSI Sportsnet for the final 14 minutes from Dolphins Soccer Park. Dolphins lead 2-0. D'Amico battling for it in the midfield against Monier. And D'Amico is down again. She's not shied away from physical play, Nick, but she certainly paid for it.
Yeah, the Dolphins have certainly made a lot of their minutes in this game, and they have fought every single minute of this one, and you can see the wear and tear of their bodies as this game has gone along with the way the weather has been. They certainly will earn this win if they're able to hold on.
Well, given the wear and tear they've suffered in this game, they don't want to hear us complain up here in the box.
No, that's for sure.
Too bad. 13 minutes to go from CSI.
We'll have to show your Twitter handle so that way someone can...
If you watched the pregame, you saw my Twitter handle. An all-time great Twitter handle.
That's true.
At Foreman Osborne. You can see where else I'm going to be, too.
Some of our more memorable calls on that page as well.
We'll have to update those.
I'm sure we'll have a lot more of interesting calls this season.
Perhaps I'll throw a Christmas Carol on there.
We can say that for Nick. I think that's his specialty.
I think you're right. That call came during CSI men's basketball last year.
The creativity, though, you got to give it to him. It was a good timing of it.
Men's basketball will tip off on November 10th. Tournament of Heroes, November 10th and 11th. The Women's Basketball Conference Challenge, November 11th and 12th. Voss, center of the pitch. And that one is sent into orbit. My car is behind the net. Thankfully, that did not clear the netting. I tried to pull up real close. There were no spots against the woods where I normally park.
Right, because you left. I saw you were parked earlier where I'm currently parked. And then you moved because you went to go get some water with Andrew.
I left, and then I got caught in 10 minutes of traffic coming back because classes had just ended.
That's why the long line was there. I saw a line of traffic earlier as this game went on.
Who goes to class? Just kidding. Just kidding. I went to class.
You're on a thin line, Joe.
I went to class plenty when I was here. Of course, I'm a graduate of CSI. Rodriguez.
You might have
center of the pitch.
You might have some hateful DMs later.
And Evela took a shot there. No time for hateful DMs.
Oh, love and positivity.
What will happen is I get a hateful DM, I send a trolling DM back, and then I block. You get a shot, I get a shot, we're done. Melgar. Kolka. Melgar up the pitch for Nenska Hopushovska. She may look to cross here. Nearest Golden Falcon is Brianna Franco. Evela looks to get into one, sends it toward goal, on target, and in! What a shot by Nadia Evela as she beats Lambertino inside of the far post beneath the crossbar. The Dolphins lead it 3-0.
And it looked like almost at the end of it, Joe, Radavini almost got a foot on it to get the hat trick, but Evela with a great shot over the goalkeeper for the Dolphins' third goal of this game. They now lead it 3-0 with 10:43 to go in the second half.
Let's see if we catch it on the end of this replay. And did the camera get it in the frame is the question.
Didn't look like it, but
hopefully Marquise had the camera rolling.
Radavini was very close to getting a foot on it.
Scored by number 8, Nadia Evela.
So the Dolphins now ahead by 3. Scoreboard yet to reflect it. There you go. Nope.
Nope.
Not yet.
Three.
There we go. Nick, I have to ask why you said it like that.
I don't know.
You got really excited about that third goal.
Another one of our infamous calls from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, without context, that just came across really awkward.
That's what I'm here for.
We need to give the context now.
That's what I'm here for.
Now, Andrew is loving it next door. So we'll have some backstory on that in just a moment. First, we'll talk about why it's important to go to class. Story time.
We're really pushing it on.
Story time. Why it's important to go to class. Some of our viewers may have heard this story already, but if they have, they'll hear it again. I know Tyler hasn't heard this story, so it's a good opportunity for him to listen and get some background. Many, many years ago, or we'll say not so many years ago, I don't want to age myself, but not so many years ago, I was a student here at CSI, and I was in a class, Management 504. That class was sports management. My professor in that class was David Pizzuto. Some of our viewers may know who that is, former SID here at CSI. So typically, you'll have students who say, who needs to go to the last day of class? No one needs to go to the last day of class. As there's a lot of traffic there along the touchline. It's cleared away by the Dolphins. But I went to class on the last day, had to know what my grade was. So we get our course evaluations on the last day, and on my course evaluation it said, if you're interested, there's a job for you in athletics. As that one gets by Albano, and that was awfully dangerous as Villacrest dives on top of it. But nonetheless, I got a job offer on my last day of class. That's why it's important to be there. You never know who you'll meet and what job offers might come your way.
All right.
Now, Nick, would you like to tell the backstory of the three?
Now, I don't remember which game it was.
It doesn't really matter. We know it was a softball game.
It was a softball game. The umpire exclaimed 3 at one point in that game, and you were Andrew on the call, and you made the infamous comment saying, the umpire has exclaimed 3, Andrew. And that has now been a running gag in our group since then.
And we weren't exactly sure why the umpire exclaimed 3. We never quite figured that out.
Now, Joe, we haven't had the official call time. The clock is still running as now they officially will stop the clock.
Sometimes late in games, they'll let it go a bit more, especially when the deficit is larger.
I'm trying to see which player that is. I want to say that is number 8, Kate Braun. That is down.
She's played a lot of minutes in this game. It's been a tough day for Felician in terms of injuries as well. Several of their players have gone down, but to their credit, they've played hard this entire match. The scoring chances were few and far between in the first half. They've had much better opportunities here in the second half. I don't think there's any question it's been a better second half for them than it was a first half. That being said, the Dolphins had that 2-goal cushion. They've now added to their lead, and to be fair, it took an incredible shot for CSI to do that, as Evola, from outside of the penalty area, just inside of the corner of the box, was able to put one beneath the crossbar and inside the far post. A very impressive shot. I'm sure we'll get a look at it again on the highlight reel following this game. Looks like they added some time on the clock, Nick.
So it looks like now there's 8:30 to go in this second half.
We saw earlier, Jalen Say had to be helped off the field. And it looks like another Golden Falcon may need to be helped off.
Looks like the reason they added that time was it looks like they were trying to get the stoppage earlier.
It was Kaylee Rappel who went down, and she's going to walk off under her own power, so that's good to see. Looks like they did send a substitution out to replace her, and Rappel's day will likely be done with 8.5 minutes to go in this game.
And if you're both teams out with 8:30 to go, you're just trying to avoid any further injuries as this one is long. Dolphins seem to be on the way to their second win of the season. What has been another impressive showing from CSI throughout these past now two straight games. And I think that they've done it, Joe, also 2 very hot days in a 3-day span has not really affected them.
Well, it's credit to the depth and conditioning of this Dolphins team. And they've used a lot of players this year, so they've made the most of that depth they have. The roster has definitely grown in size from last year. And heads up in the stands.
Always,
that was really close.
Always have to be aware of your surroundings.
I may have to produce a sign that says beware of balls that leave the field of play, because the wrong person gets hit with one of those and we have a problem.
Yep.
Can never be too careful.
No.
Been watching a lot of lawyer shows, so I know these things now. Big fan of Suits. Definitely a top 5 show for me all time. Tyler agrees. Great show. Starting season 6 next time I pop in the DVD. I have to own a physical copy. Can't stream it. Only the good shows.
It is on Peacock, worst case scenario.
You never know how those are edited on Peacock.
That's true.
which is why I have to buy the physical copy.
That's fair.
And I learned last night that the companies that have the rights to redistribute those physical copies have to do so every certain amount of time, and they lose that right. Here comes Melgar, and Melgar goes down. No whistle. Melgar can't believe it, and the Golden Falcons will look to counter.
For a second, it almost looked like
And there's a good ball, but a bit off target. And miscommunication between Castro and Villacrest, and now Castro is down.
And this might lead to another stoppage right here. You can see, Joe, she is visibly in pain right now.
Play is still going, and finally they stop it.
I'm hearing even from the bench, they're asking for the clock to be stopped. That's from the Felician side. They are asking for the clock to be stopped.
They were waiting for the signal. Nothing the clock operator can do there. They may elect to add more time. We've called games before where the deficit has been 4 goals plus, and they've run the clock to the second half. It looked like Castro grabbed for the ankle as soon as she went down, and a lot of the time when there's a leg injury, it's best that it's an ankle rather than a knee, because the knee injuries can sometimes be much more problematic in the long term. With many sprained ankles, and I know a thing or two about sprained ankles, you'll go a week or two unable to do much, and you'll be good after that.
Now, when was that from?
Well, it's funny you ask. I did sprain my ankle ahead of a game last year. That's not even what I was referring to,
but
that reminds me. When we played Felician in softball, we were setting up our sound system. I had to climb up onto a bench to get into the box. We have a mixer affixed to the dugout wall, which I can't reach unless I'm on the bench. Many can't reach it even on the bench. Fortunately, I have the height to get there. Unfortunately, on the way down, my height betrayed me as I stepped on the leg of the bench, and that was a really nasty ankle roll. That one hurt. I'm not one to admit when I'm in pain often. I was in a lot of pain. In fact, it was so bad that I went numb. That's how much it hurt initially.
Now, what was worse, that or getting hit by that foul ball that went back into the baseball booth?
The foul ball actually didn't hurt that much.
Okay.
It's because of my rock-hard abs, obviously. Well-developed obliques covering my ribs.
Very humble.
I didn't admit that one hurt. So I have to guess that for dramatic effect, I probably said something like, wow, that one hurt on the broadcast, but that was a bit of embellishment. I'm not embellishing the ankle.
As long as the equipment was fine after,
That's
I guess it was worth it at the end.
The foul ball missed the MAC by millimeters, so I'll take it to the ribs over it hitting the computer any day. It did leave a mark. We had quite the bruise there for a few days. But we said it at the time, the trajectory that ball had to take to get into the press box was incredible.
Even watching the replay, it was incredible how that happened.
Now, what do you think is more difficult? Ball into the baseball press box or this press box?
More difficult?
More improbable. What's less likely?
This one. I would say this one more.
I believe it was our first or second game here we had a ball in the press box.
Really?
Yep. You weren't yet working with us. Ball a bit too strong.
Now, was that a windy day? Is that the reason maybe why that happened?
It was sheer dumb luck that a ball played several yards away from the sideline, curved into the box, and it landed in Sal's lap. Sal Caruso, of course, our intramurals coordinator here at CSI. He got some commentary work for a couple of games, and
some commentary that should have been on the broadcast. But
well, that's not what I was referring to, but Nick just threw Sal under the bus. He also does some stats with Lewis.
I don't think Sal remembers that game, to be fair.
What are you saying?
I'll leave that no comment.
I will comment. Sal was not inebriated at the game.
No. That's not what I was referring to. I'm just saying.
Well, I had to make that clear because it sounded like that's what you were implying.
That's not what I was implying.
I gave you a chance to clarify.
More of the fact that Sal is a very hard worker here, and he has a lot of stuff on his plate, so there's some things that he probably tries to forget about.
We had a good laugh about it after. We went back to the replay and Fortunately, you couldn't hear it. But Sal's invested. He's firmly behind the Dolphins.
Right.
When things don't go their way, he can get a bit frustrated.
Right. I was solo on the call. I heard that one.
I can't say it's ever happened to me where I've gotten that frustrated that I've slipped up on Mike. I won't lie and say I've never come close. But so far, I have a clean record when it comes to that.
Just like you have a clean record in our faculty and staff games.
That's right, unbeaten. The question is, will Tyler be team staff this year? He's now staff.
If he wants to play for the winners, he's got to be.
Well, if he plays for team students, then he can kiss the internship we have goodbye. We're not doing that.
You're putting him on the spot right now.
Damn right I am.
Tyler, for retrospect, we put up 50 points in the football game. So
once he sees the photo of team staff, all majestic with a belt, and then team students in their T-shirts.
And then I think we put up, 20 runs in the baseball game?
Something like that.
It was close to it.
Cross. As Golden Falcons look to clear away, they can't. That sent a mile high. And attempted bicycle kick by D'Amico comes up empty. Why not?
Always love to see a bicycle kick.
Well, we had one the last time these two teams played here. Emily Albano at the end of the first half in that game converted on a bicycle kick to give the Dolphins the lead. That's actually one of the calls on my Twitter account at Foreman Osborne. We had our best calls from each sport.
The good old bicicleta, as I've heard a lot.
I've never heard that, but I know what you're saying. To be honest, I don't watch much soccer.
A lot of FIFA.
That was back in the day. I don't watch much at all anymore. There's no time. We have games here. We have games
You're a busy man.
Outside of CSI. On our team, the Athletic Communications Squad, we have Staten Island's most requested sports photographer and sports broadcaster. So we have the dream team of athletic communications coverage here at CSI.
It's a good word for it.
Marquise is a little more humble than I am, I promise.
Wonder how Marquise's trip went from this
Didn't
past
get a
week.
chance to ask him. We saw him down on the field, but it wouldn't have been a flowing conversation if I had to scream down to field level, how was New Orleans?
I'm sure we'll ask him after this game is over.
A place, admittedly, where I would never go.
Really?
Never.
Okay.
Never. Add it to the list alongside Las Vegas, places I'll never go. Though the Raiders are there, and that's my team.
That is your team, yeah.
Might have to check out the stadium.
Now we have 1 minute remaining in regulation. Dolphins on their way to their second win of the season.
What's the name of the Raider Stadium, Nick?
Legion Stadium.
A.K.A. the Death Star, or is that a different one?
That they do call it the Death Star.
Yeah, I like that. I was once a Star Wars fan, and then a certain company acquired it, and no longer a Star Wars fan.
We really hit all cylinders here on this broadcast, huh?
Don't want to give away any free publicity to evil empires unless it's the Empire. Some companies just take your childhood and drag it through the mud.
They break your heart.
10 seconds remaining here at Dolphins Soccer Park. Dolphins likely will be content to dribble it out.
Andrew doesn't realize there's 10 seconds left, so it's all right.
Felician kicks it over the sideline, and that'll do it. Dolphins earn their second victory of the season, 3-0 over Felician University. For the Golden Falcons, they suffer their first loss. They are now 0-1-2 on the year. Women's soccer will be back in action again this weekend. We'll have women's soccer on Sunday, but first, in our next broadcast, men's soccer will take on Bloomsburg University on Saturday. So I will be here Saturday. I will be here Sunday. Nick, you will be here as well, and you will hear from at least me and perhaps Aaron Cohen this weekend on the call here for CSI Sportsnet. Until then, once again, Joe Foreman alongside Nick Bavona, our engineer Tyler Clark. Thanks for watching. Dolphins win 3-0, and we'll see you again this weekend.